Alright lads, so with us finally getting a 1000-year Blood War content in the game Bleach Brave Souls, and I must say, it feels good to finally say that. And with that in mind, since we're specifically getting Season 1 characters until we can finally get Season 2 stuff, I thought it'd be a fun idea to go over Season 1 in particular, and point out some characters that we can potentially receive in Bleach Brave Souls until we lead up to Season 2 characters. And of course, when the time does come, we will do the same for Season 2, Season 3, and the eventual Season 4. So with that said, let's go over every character we can receive from 1000-year Blood War Season 1. So starting off with Episode 1, one of the big things that we do see is Ichigo, Chad, Uryu, and Orihime save Ryunosuke and also Shino. The characters make a good comeback, and to celebrate the return of the anime, Caleb did do a 1000-year Blood War banner with Ichigo, Chad, and also Uryu. Unfortunately, no Orihime. Big wasted opportunity, I will say. She really should have been included in this banner. And quite frankly, I would like for her to get a 1000-year Blood War character, despite it literally being a base on Orihime. Main reason, if I'm being honest, is because of the loading screen. In the loading screen, we have Chad, Ichigo, and Uryu there in their 1000-year Blood War art style, but then Kisuke and Orihime are there in the TLA art style. So if possible, Orihime and Kisuke could receive a new 1000-year Blood character based off of Season 1, but I don't really see it happening. Same goes for Shino and Ryunosuke. Would love to see them in the game. Wouldn't be super excited about them, but I do like to see new faces in the game Bleach Brave Souls. But these characters don't really have a big fight moment. They're not really that relevant to 1000-year Blood War, so I can and probably do see Caleb skipping these characters. That then leads us into Episode 2. This is when Kyoge first shows up, and of course we did get Kyoge in-game with our most recent End of Month banner. Now, Kyoge in particular does fight two sets of characters, the first being Lolly and Meneli. They could potentially get a character in-game in the 1000-year Blood War art style, because they do have a brief fight. Unfortunately, the characters themselves aren't really that exciting. Meneli, as of right now, doesn't even have a character in-game, but I will say it would be cool to get a 1000-year Blood War double team. I don't think anyone would be excited for it, but again, it would be cool. Caleb most likely are going to skip it though. What I think they shouldn't skip though is of course the Transbestia. Unlucky for them, that's a simple banner. Those three make the free banner characters. This one I feel like has a very good chance of happening, whether that's this year, next year, or sometime in the future. I do think this banner should be done eventually, because I would like to think these characters aren't unpopular, especially Sansan. I think she's the most popular of the three. They've been given seasonal, so Caleb aren't afraid to make new characters for these particular Arrancars. But most importantly, when it comes to 1000-year Blood War, they do have new designs. That right there I think is a selling point. I like the designs for all three of these characters, and I would love for them to get a new character in-game. But within Episode 2, they do definitely showcase some attacks. Caleb can easily make new characters for these. So this is a banner I can definitely see happening sometime in the future. That then leads us into Episode 3, where I feel like the main character that could get a new form is Kyoge. And I know, we just got a Kyoge. I don't expect to get a new version of him anytime soon, but sometime in the future, if they ever wanted to give this character, who I would like to think is somewhat popular, a new form, well, Kyoge in particular has a whole new form that is not touched in BBS yet. That, of course, being his Ion Absorbed form. It's a cool design, and if they ever wanted to give us a new Kyoge in the future, they can easily get this character out, and I would like to see it in-game. The big question is, though, who would go into the banner with him? I'm not really too sure. But Kyoge is definitely up for a potential second character in the future, this time with his Ion Absorbed form. Then we jump to Episode 4, where there's definitely a few possibilities here. In this case, since the most recent End of Month did feature a Bambietta, her screen time in Season 1 is very limited to only basically one scene. And that one scene alone was enough for Caleb to give her an entire new character. Since she's also one of the few Stun Ritters that actually steal a Bankai, she could have been paired with 3 other Stun Ritters that also steal Bankai. In this case, Esnor is definitely a big contender for a new character sometime soon. His fight with Byakuya is one of the highlights of Season 1, and he's one of the few Stun Ritters that actually do something within the first invasion. So he's definitely going to be getting a character, and to go alongside Esnor, someone like Bijin and Kangdu would make sense, since they're basically part of the same group that actually does something for the most part within Season 1. When it comes to Soul Reapers, I think Byakuya definitely has the potential chance to get a new character. Could definitely see Caleb skipping over this, but if they really wanted to, a new 1000-year Byakuya would make sense here. It is technically just a normal Byakuya using his Bankai, but at least they got something to work with. When it compares to other characters like Soifon and Toshiro, they don't really demonstrate much. Granted, they do use their Bankais, but it's instantly stolen. Byakuya in particular had a whole sequence of him activating his Bankai that I think could literally work as a Soul Bomb. When it comes to Episode 5, there's a few potential characters that we could get here. For starters, we have the 3 Stun Ritters that end up dead right from the get-go because they fought Kenpachi Zaraki. This, funny enough, could actually make a banner, but my problem with this is that we don't really know what exactly they do, or more so they don't really demonstrate anything. We know their powers, and their powers are shown in a montage sequence, but these 3 Stun Ritters in particular introduce dead, and I could see Caleb easily skipping these characters. I do want most Stun Ritters in the game to at least have some type of appearance. These three, though, I feel like we could go without. Robert has a potential chance to get a character in Season 1. Again, I could see them skipping him, but if they wanted to do him, he has a potential chance. Same goes for Shunsui. Again, Shunsui doesn't really do much in this particular fight, but at the same time, Shunsui hasn't had a character in quite some years. And the next time Shunsui actually does something big in the 1000 Year Blood War arc is until Season 3 or 4. And by the time we get that character in-game, we're talking like 2024, 2025. It's going to be a while away before we get our next 1000 Year Blood War Shunsui. So potentially to fill in the gap here, just give him some good character as we wait for a new 1000 Year Blood War Shunsui. We definitely could get one from the fight with Robert. But a character I do feel like has a big chance of being a new character in-game is Driscoll. While it's true he does basically just get one-shot by Yamamoto, he is one of the few stun racers that actually gets something done within the first invasion. He kills Chojuro, takes his Bankai, and uses it against Yamamoto. That right there I think is enough for him to get a new character. That then leads us into episode 6, in which we see Bankai Yamamoto vs Yuha, aka Void Lloyds. Now, this one might be a bit controversial. We could potentially get a new Bankai Yamamoto. And I know, we've had 4 Yamamotos basically from this particular fight. This is Yamamoto's only moment in 1000 Year Blood War, and we've had so many characters based on this particular fight. But remember, we are getting anime 1000 Year Blood War characters now. And as of right now, we have no anime Yamamoto from this particular fight. The past 3 Bankai Yamamotos that we have received are from the manga, so technically they shouldn't really be included in this conversation. So there is a chance this will happen. They might wait a while because we have just received a new Bankai Yamamoto, but there is a potential chance they could actually do it. So I just want to say this about editing. I'm going to double down on it. I don't care that we already received 3 Yamamotos from this particular fight. I need to see Tenchi Kaijin in the new 1000 Year Blood War art style with the updated visuals. This was cool and all. I need to see it again with better animations. Same goes for Yuha. I definitely think we are going to get Yuha from Season 1, which technically would be Royd Lloyd, but I think they would just call him Yuha. But I'd be super down for it because this should be our first SP Yuha in the game, and with the anime visuals, he would look great, especially with the Quincy blade. That's the big thing about him. So I definitely think before we get to Season 2, a new Yuha would almost be a given, potentially for this end of year banner. That then leads us into episode 7, where we had the flashback of the past Gotei 13. Until confirmed, I'm not expecting any of these characters, but I would love to see them in game, especially since we had a teaser banner of that for the 8th anniversary with Chojuro, Yashiro, and also Yamamoto. But within episode 7, we do have a big fight, that of course being the Root Yuha versus Bankai Ichigo. Bankai Ichigo has yet to be done, and I feel like they should do it, especially considering the fact that round 16 of 1000 Year Blood War did feature Ichigo with the new anime colors using his Shikai. It was a big wasted opportunity that we didn't have a Bankai version, especially because he does have the new color scheme. The design would actually be really cool, and it's a big moment for Ichigo. I would love to see his character in game, especially if they could somehow incorporate the Blood Vein activation for the first time. That would be really cool. And of course, a character to go alongside Ichigo would be Yuha. A third character for the banner, I'm not really sure they could do. They could do Bankai Yamamoto. That would be a really hype end of year banner, I will say. But they also could throw in Jugrum. Jugrum doesn't do much, to be fair, but if they really wanted to make him a third banner character, they definitely could do it. That then leads us into episode 8. Nothing of noteworthy really happened in this episode. In episode 9, we do have Yachi vs Kenpachi, and this easily could be a banner, but it's most likely not going to happen, mainly because of how they already done Yachi Unohana. It's no surprise the most recent Unohana that we did get is from the original Gotei 13. But it's kind of like a mixture of both, mainly in the Sobom. If you ever look at the Sobom, half of the Sobom is from the fight with Kenpachi, while the other half, the finishing move, is from the flashback. So to me, with the way they did the Sobom, incorporating elements from the original Gotei 13 flashback and from the fight with Kenpachi, that they don't intend to actually make a new Yachiru, more specifically from the fight with Kenpachi, because otherwise they wouldn't have included those parts in a Sobom. And you could potentially say the same thing about Yamamoto. Maybe they don't plan to give us a new Bankai Yamamoto, so instead, to make it feel fresh and not feel like another rehash of the same character, they gave us the past Yamamoto. And that's definitely a possibility. But to me, again, I would love to see this particular scene animated in the new art style, and to see how potentially Killer can replicate that in-game. And that alone, to me, makes a new Bankai Yamamoto seem potentially likely to happen again. But jumping forward to episode 10, nothing of real noteworthy happens here. I guess one thing in particular is the flashbacks that we do get. A kid Kenpachi I'd be down for. Feel like it deserves a character. Giganjo has a speaking moment, and there is also a younger Kenpachi that fights him. I'd be down for that to be a banner. Not sure if I'll be able to pull it off, but I'd be down for it. That then leads us into episode 11, everything but the Rain arc starts. Masaki, Ishin, and Ryukun definitely could get remakes. I'd be down for it. I feel like they deserve it. And they could potentially throw in Aizen, Gin, and Kaname, or maybe just an Aizen to finish up the banner. White would have definitely happened here. but we got him for the 8th anniversary. And that's basically all the characters I think we could get from Season 1 of 1000 Year Blood War. Just to give a quick recap, characters that I think are likely to happen sometime in the future: the Tresbestia, an iron-absorbed Killgate form, Esnot, BG9, Kangdu, maybe a Byakuya, maybe Robert and Shunsui. Driscoll I think is likely. A Bankai Ichigo with the white and black Getuka could definitely happen. Same with the base from Yuha. Drugrim, maybe just to complete the trio. Like, these three could make a really good end of year banner. But if they don't want to add Drugrim, a third character that would make sense and be really happy in my opinion, and I get that it is a tad bit repetitive, is the Bankai Yamamoto, this time with the anime art style. We could potentially get a past Kenpachi, not really sure who they would put in the banner with him. And Everything But the Rain definitely does deserve a new banner. Most of Masaki and Isshin. Ryukin we can go without getting a new character, but Masaki and Isshin in particular definitely do deserve remakes before we go into Season 2. But then again, because it is a flashback, they can always fit these characters in whenever they want to. They don't have to go in order. If they wanted to start Season 2 before we get Isshin and Masaki, I'm fine with it if we eventually do get them. So yeah, that's basically all the characters I can see us get new characters until we get Season 2. Season 2 is definitely going to be a lot more hype since it is, you know, big fights, big Stern Ritters, with their transformations, a lot of new characters using their Shikai and Bankais. But yeah, I expect us to get most of these characters from Season 1 until we lead up to Season 2. Especially considering the fact that as of right now, we maybe have to wait around 6 or so months before we see Season 2 characters. I think there is a good amount of banners and hype banners that can keep us occupied until Season 2 is ready. But Season 2 is definitely where all the hype is at. I think 2024 is going to be an amazing and hype year for BBS. Because yeah, we have a lot of things to look forward to. And we will talk about it when the time does come. But as we already mentioned, a lot of new Shikais, a lot of new Bankais, a lot of new Volstanics. I'm not sure how we're going to be able to hold orbs when Season 2 starts release in the game. Either way though, looking at Season 1 characters only, what are you most excited for? For me personally, I'm definitely looking forward to a new base from Yuha. If we do get it, I think we should. Mainly because it should be the first SP playable Yuha. There is no way they're going to make a third Yuha and make him another Brave Battle / Nad character. There's just no way. This will be the first playable SP character, and if they want to do it for end of year, that is a great way to end the year with an absolute bang. With that said, if I missed out any characters or names, feel free to comment them in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and peace.